Good morning, college football fans, and welcome to 3 and Out College Edition right here on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I mean, the season seriously felt like it just started, and well, here we are with only 2 more national champions to crown. And ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the day where we will crown both. Congratulations to the South Dakota Jackrabbits, South Dakota State Jackrabbits, and the Michigan Wolverines. You gotta give credit's due, right? 2 teams who were on a mission, made things happen. And you know what? You gotta love the effort. You gotta love the poise. You gotta love the determination. And neither of these teams back down at any given time. This was one of these games was just a slaughter. And the other one, well, let's just say the other team had it in hand the entire time. Looking at you, Michigan. It was a fun season. And today, Teran and I are going to end it well as we have, well, we actually have an all-star game to talk about. And, of course, getting you ready for the Senior Bowl. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you're excited. We have one more chapter, at least with national championship talk and everything. One more chapter of 3 and Out College Edition right here on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome, college football fans. Man, it has been too long. We appreciate you all so very much. It's only been a week, but who cares? It's just, the show's so much fun. We enjoy it, and gotta tell you something, we certainly had a great season. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, one more time, welcome to 3 and Out College Edition right here on iSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. As always, this is me, over there, be bringing it to you here live on a beautiful Saturday, January 13th. Where does time go? January 13th, 2024. And, well, last Sunday we crowned a champion. Monday we crowned a champion. And that is that. As always, big ups to our delicious sponsor, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. The jerky, that's on a whole other planet. Head on over to planetjerky.net. Grab you a couple bags because they're freaking delicious. Planet Jerky, iSports Radio, college football, all sports. They go hand in hand. You're going to want you a bag. Head on over. Do yourself a favor. planetjerky.net. And, of course, big ups to everybody in the chat room. Of course, Gen B, and we can say thank you all very much as always, ladies and gentlemen. All glory to God. Without him, nothing is possible. That is right. And of course, without all of you guys out there, iSports Radio is not possible. So we thank you all so very much. We appreciate you all for tuning in. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, he of course is my boy, man. He is host of Set Point here on iSports Radio. He is host of the SoCal Supreme Sports Show. He is co-host of this show, 3 and Out College Edition, and of course, iSports Radio Hall of Famer. And he's the guy that kind of gets everything together on YouTube for us. You guys see how pretty and nice YouTube is, how uniform it is, how good it looks, the disclaimers, the everything. That's Teran. Ladies and gentlemen, our boy Teran Rodriguez. What's going on, man? How you doing, brother?
Hey, Larry. It is great to be on with you. Where did the season go in terms of college football? But regardless, we are ready to break it down, and I wouldn't want to break it down with someone else. So.
Hey, same here, brother. Had to make sure we were on here today, man, and to wrap up the season. It is definitely, without 100% doubt, that this season was a fun one. I mean, my goodness, we had so much stuff so many ups and downs and turns and all these different things. It was a great season. Certainly enjoyed it. And, well, here we are, man. So, okay, well, let's just get to it, brother. We had 2 games this past week. 2 more champions to crown. I still think it's very stupid how the FCS does their game on Sunday when, I don't know, the entire NFL is playing. But whatever, I still watched it. I still had every device I could possibly have on with football. It was crazy. It looked like I looked like freaking GameWorks or Dave and Buster's or like a sports bar. Seriously, I got so many screens on phone, tablet, TV, other TV. I mean, I got it all on, man. When it comes to Sundays, so this one just had to have me do some extra work. So, Teran, Sunday morning or afternoon, depending on where you are in the country. It was a good one. Big ups to our boy Ralph Khalees in the chat room. Thank you, sir. Mr. IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer as well. My classmate in 2023. Appreciate you, brother, for tuning in. Teran, Sunday. Damn it, I want it to be better. Teran. I did. I wanted it to be a better game. And it wasn't. It wasn't a better game. So, let's get this out of the way. And this is no diss. The winner, we both picked the winner. But Teran, the Jackrabbits. Congratulations to the South Dakota State Jackrabbits. They did it. Defeated Montana 23-3. Beat these dudes down. Earned their second national championship in program history. And their second back-to-back, which is pretty cool. They won it all last year. They won it all again this year. Teran, it was a good pregame. I don't know what else to say. The Jacks came out and they were hungry. It was it was solid for a while, but it just turned into what we've seen all year long from the Jacks, man. The offense wore that defense down. The defense, was as stingy as possible. It was extremely one-sided game, man. Montana could do absolutely nothing. And overall, you take a look at how good the Jacks really are. You take a look at how strong this team is. And Teran, they flexed every muscle. They really did. It was, at the half, 7-3. And we've seen South Dakota State play in some close games this year, so it's no surprise. And then they usually take off, and that's exactly what happened. That third quarter, man, came in 2 TDs and a field goal later. They were up 23-3. Granted, in the fourth quarter, there was no scores. Okay, actually, that was the only scoreless quarter. But by that time, Montana had no answers. There was nothing there. That South Dakota defense played extremely strong. They were playing with the hair on fire. Nobody was scoring on these guys. And guess what? The Jacks, even though Montana's defense locked up pretty well, they had this game in hand. And hey, a 20-point victory, it didn't matter what the score was. They earned themselves a title. Gronkowski, man. I'm sorry, Gronkowski. Gronowski. I mess up his name every time we talk about him. But Mark Gronowski, this junior out of Napier, Illinois, man, he looked good. He went 13 for 21, 175 yards, 1 touchdown. He did throw a pick, but you know what? The dude did his thing, man. He went out there. Davis, this guy right here, man, Isaiah Davis. That was his last year, young man out of Joplin, Missouri, actually. He is, last game as a Jackrabbit. 16 carries, 87 yards, just shy of the century mark, but he had his touchdown. Looked pretty good. And, of course, Jackson Yankee, another senior, playing his last one out of Madison, South Dakota. And that's it, man. He had 4 receptions, 66 yards, and it would help these Jackrabbits earn their second national championship. Teran, how about this game, man?
Yeah, it was quite the fascinating game. I really thought that South Dakota State took away the run game from Montana, and that's kind of what really tilted the scale over to South Dakota State. I also thought that forcing 3 turnovers really affected Montana's play. And once they got behind in that fourth quarter, they had to basically just throw the ball instead of just running it. So I thought South Dakota State just played a great game, especially in the second half. And there was no scoring from either team in that fourth quarter, but the big thing was that South Dakota State shut out Montana. And that's actually South Dakota State's first win over Montana in team history, as the Jackrabbits have the longest streak in college football active right now, whether it's FCS or FBS or Division I, Division II, or Division III.
Very impressive, man. And that's pretty cool. I did not know that was their first win over Montana. That's pretty cool. Teran bringing the fun facts, but yeah, well, I mean, 15-0 this year. I mean, what's their streak right now, Teran? Their current streak?
One is 29.
Oh, man, 29 in a row. I mean, this is a good football team, man. How long can they keep it? I mean, remember when USC had their streak going in the mid-2000s? We were all happy, and, of course, Texas brought that to an end. But, Teran...
His knee was down.
What was that?
I think Vince Young's knee was down.
Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for today's show, man. You just brought up painful memories for me. Thank you. But yes, it was down. Yeah, I hated that game. Anyway, Teran, yes, I will tell you right now, brother, this has been a great season. And the Jackrabbits, they stamped it. They got it done. Just what a hell of a game for these guys to play. And now that's it, man. They're basking in glory right now. Congratulations. These dudes know exactly how to win. I mean, Teran, looking into next year, North Dakota State, you know damn well they're hungry as can be. This year, they had a horrible season. They lost to teams we never thought we'd see them lose to. North Dakota and South Dakota. And those are just the universities, the U's. That's not South Dakota State, okay? Not saying the difference, but I'm just saying. They lost to both the Fighting Hawks and they lost to the Coyotes. Dude, what the crap, man? Like, North Dakota State still nearly made the championship game. And they were taken to double overtime by Montana. They almost were in this game that we're talking about right now. I mean, the Bison don't die, man. This team. So once again, they're going to be back. Montana State, they had a solid season. It wasn't like it was horrible or anything, but they fell short. They're going to be back as well. And you also know, Teran, that South Dakota ain't going nowhere. Okay, this team ain't going nowhere. South Dakota State is as strong as it gets. Even South Dakota, the Coyotes, and North Dakota, the Fighting Hawks, I mean, they may step it up next year. They may. I mean, the FCS is going to be fun. The FCS is going to be very, very, very fun. You're not going to count out either of the Montanas. You're not going to count out any of the Dakotas. All right? I mean, and who else? Furman had an incredible run this year, too. You think of how good this team was. And there's a lot of FCS schools this year, I think, that are going to ramp it up. And we're probably, I think we might be in for one of the better FCS seasons, coming up this year. I don't know. But, Teran, what do you think, man? Recap of the season for the FCS. I mean, what did you think of it? And, of course, what do you think about going into next year?
Yeah, I definitely think South Dakota State is definitely making a household name for itself. And then, as you mentioned, North Dakota State was still in that running, and they were a 2-point conversion away from possibly making it to the national championship, the FCS championship. But I really think that Montana, South Dakota State, and North Dakota State are the big three of the FCS for the time being. And we don't know what some of these teams' identities are going to be, because the transfer portal, coaches are coming and going, wanting to get like bigger deals and make more money. So we don't know who's going to be maybe that fourth team, or maybe if a team is going to pull an upset against another team. So I think the FCS is going to be very, very watchable for next year. And I would encourage everybody to basically get into FCS football. I think it's definitely underrated.
I'm with you, Teran. FCS football is fun, and honestly, it was a good year, and this is going to be a great year coming up. So let's be excited. Let's be ready for another great year. And just big ups once again to everybody in the chat room, man. Our boy J-Man's in the chat room, Gen B. They got a primetime face-off coming up in a little bit. Of course, it's Drewski coming on up in here. We got Adam Karnick saying good morning. He says, some Chicago college football to celebrate famed 85 Bear and Arkansas Razorback. Dan Hampton, hey, he has been named to the College Football Hall of Fame class of 2024. That's right. Congratulations to him. You gotta love that, right? You gotta love when these older guys get in, because you're like, man, I mean, some of them you feel like they should have been in years ago, you know? So big ups to Dan Hampton. Teran, switching on over, one more championship to recap. And, well, it goes a little something like this. On Monday evening, the Michigan Wolverines defeated the Washington Huskies 34-13, and the Wolverines will earn their 12th national championship in program history, and of course, their first since 1997. Congratulations to the Michigan Wolverines. Teran, that's it. We knew it would be a fun game to watch, but I didn't know it would be a fun game to watch just for a little bit. I thought it would be better than this again. Once again, another game that I really have higher hopes for that, in my opinion, just kind of turned out to be a dud. Now, don't get me wrong. Michigan is as advertised, but Washington, I mean, it's like they weren't even there, man. I mean, the third quarter, I feel like they and what do I mean by they weren't there? Okay, it was a game. It was a game for the most part, but you talk about that first drive. I mean, come on, man. They could have easily scored on that first drive, I feel. Hell of a defense, okay? Hell of a defense with Michigan. But I really feel like the Huskies could have tied this thing on their first series. They didn't. It was a field goal. So, Teran, I mean, 14-3 at the end of the first quarter. You already knew it was going south. Okay? Second quarter, they kick a field goal, and it's 17-3 with 13:28 to go. I know it was just the start of the second quarter, but you already saw red flags. Like, yeah, Michigan's probably going to run away with this thing. And they didn't necessarily run away, okay? But we get a Washington touchdown towards the end of the second quarter. They make it respectable. It's a 7-point game at the half, 17-10. And damn, man, that third quarter, it's like the Huskies couldn't get anything going. The two teams trade a pair of field goals. It is 20-13 at the end of the third quarter. And when it mattered the most, Teran, it feels like the Huskies just didn't even bother to show up, man. That fourth quarter belonged to Michigan. They heard enough crap. They heard enough people talking bad about them. They heard enough people saying they couldn't do it. I don't know what it was, man, but they turned it on. They turned it on and clearly shut out Washington. Made it happen. 2 TDs in that fourth quarter. They pulled away. It was absolute chaos when that confetti fell, because Michigan's been waiting for this for a very long time. Okay, that's 26 years, man. That's a long time. So, yeah, it's crazy. But Michigan finishes at 15-0. Perfect 15-0 season. Teran, it was a good one, man. Jason McCarthy, 10 for 18. I mean, once again, not the greatest, not, I guess average if you want to call it, but he had 140 yards. He didn't throw for any TDs, but is what it is, right? Corum, this kid, man. Corum, senior, one more time for this, okay? This has been amazing for him this year. He's had a pretty good year. 21 carries, 134 yards, 2 touchdowns. He has really given this offense their spark. And then, of course, Colston Loveland, a sophomore, 3 receptions, 64 yards, led their receptions. Teran, that's it. McCarthy, junior, Corum, senior. I mean, this team, they're built strong, man. And I feel like they are built for moments like this. Got that victory. And this has been a challenging year for everybody, I feel, because not knowing what's going on with this 14 playoff and whatever, getting ready for next year. All these freaking the Pac-12 collapses. I mean, not knowing what's going to happen to the other conferences, teams moving around like crazy. It's all these different things, man. Michigan found a way to get it done. 15-0 season. How about these guys, man?
One thing that I thought Michigan was able to be effective in was the run game. Everyone talks about Blake Corum and how he just led the way and how he was named the most outstanding player of the national championship. But Donovan Edwards made the most of his carries. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. He had 104 rushing yards. Like, J.J. McCarthy didn't really need to do a whole lot offensively. All he just needed to do was be smart with it and make sure that his team just scored whenever it possibly could and keep Washington behind in terms of points. Now, Washington's Michael Penix Jr., it looked like he just played hurt the entire game. He just wasn't himself when Washington played Texas. So I will give Washington a little bit of the benefit of the doubt that he didn't look himself. Dylan Johnson, who got injured in the Texas game, he didn't look like his big explosive self. I think he was out. Well, no, he had 11 carries, so never mind. But either way, Washington just didn't look like themselves. They just didn't look like the team that faced Texas and won the Sugar Bowl. So for Michigan, they just smelt blood early on, and they never looked back. So I feel Michigan just was one step ahead, and I just think that their running backs, their running game was just all over the place. They had 303 rushing yards and over 400 yards altogether, and they took better care of the ball. They didn't have 1 turnover, while Washington had 2 turnovers via Penix Jr., but it was just an entirely gigantic showing out party for Michigan, especially since they held Washington to only 46 rushing yards and a little over 300 yards altogether offensively.
That's insane. I mean, look at that, dude. Washington, they had no answer. And you're absolutely right. They were that same team versus Texas, man. Texas, I don't know. I feel like Washington was kind of spent, man. You know what I mean? Like they wasted it all on Texas. I don't know what to say. We have our boy J-Man in the chat room who says, should have been my horns. And as for FCS, this is hilarious. Okay, we'll get to that in a few minutes. But J-Man also says, weak ass 14 points, salty. I know, brother. The Horns would have made it a game. Well, I mean, they definitely have the grit. Teran, I think we have to start something new. First things first, I got to ask you a question. And this is a very serious question. Most serious question of the show. This is actually the most important question of the season, Teran. Is the U back?
Of course not.
No, they're not. They're not back. Okay, coming up next year, Teran, I think we should start a new thing. Because Adam Karnick says here, and as for FCS, someday Western Illinois will win a game. Teran, we should do a fun little series coming up this year called Will Western Illinois Win This Week?
The Western Illinois Watch.
They didn't win anything this year. They went 0-12, I think. Poor Western Illinois. They didn't win. They didn't win a damn game. It's very painful. So yes, Teran, starting next year, we will have the Western Illinois Watch. Is this the week for the Leathernecks? Will they win a game? Oh, that's great. Yes, we already have our famed "Is the U back?" question. And, Teran has been very animated with his responses this year. Some good responses. There's been some, Lee Corso responses sometimes where Teran's like, the U, he'll get very, like he's gonna, and then, no, they're not back. No, sorry. The U is not back. They are not back. So yeah, we've had some good laughs on this show throughout the years, and well, the Western Illinois Walks Teran is gonna be on and popping coming up this year. I am so excited for that poor team. Anyway, Adam has a question for us here. It says, your guys' opinion. Why is the Power 5 title game been so bad the last few years? It wasn't that bad last year, was it? Oh, wait. Anyway, so yeah, he says, bad format. Truly that big of a discrepancy between the elite and good teams at that level? What gives? Teran, this is an amazingly good question, and it all adds up to one thing and one thing only. College football is in the shitter. I mean, I'm sorry. There's no other way to put this, Teran. There's no other way. There's no other way. I don't know. Teran, I mean, that's my answer, and I can go into so many details, but Teran, please, can you answer that real quick?
I don't think Michigan-Washington was bad. It just got kind of out of hand in the fourth quarter. And again, I just think Michael Penix just was not himself. He just looked like he played hurt. And when you're playing hurt in the big game, there's no coming back. And then to answer Adam's question, well, I just think that there's probably one team that's more dominant than the other. And when we saw Georgia just smack TCU, that was kind of the case. And I just think that some teams are just built for the big moment. Unfortunately, Washington was not built for the big moment because it's been a hot minute since they've been in the college football playoff altogether. Whereas Michigan, they've at least made it to the semifinals. Sometimes or more times than not, they've basically just saw themselves get ousted in the semifinals. So I think Michigan was built for this moment, whereas Washington wasn't, considering they just have not been at that big stage before.
Perfect. No, perfectly said. You are 100% correct, man. This has been this whole 14 playoff thing has sucked. You know, we hated it when it first happened. I mean, I remember when it first began. It's kind of funny. It started a couple months before IE Sports Radio was even a thing, which is kind of funny. It began 2014. A few months later, I did my very first show, and, well, there you go. That's 10 years ago. And this is kind of crazy because I've hated that damn thing since it was then, and I hate it now. I mean, you know, so we're going to the 12-team format. Good. We need that. Do I feel that's the fix? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, eventually, gosh damn it. Why can't we just... Chip Kelly, man, has it so right. Teran, is it not irritating, man? Is it not irritating knowing that all of these teams are going to be going across the country and just wasting freaking fuel? I mean, multiple games, possible huge road trips, lots of missed school. You know, I don't know, man. I mean, I wouldn't say miss school, but, man, I'll tell you right now, man, I was a student athlete, and there was a lot of times where I was like, man, I ain't doing this damn work. Like, I mean, this is what it is, man. I'm tired. I don't even want to do any work anyway. You're trying, but it's like, dude, this just, it's annoying. Chip Kelly had it so right. Why not just put football by itself? Make it its own little mini NFL type deal, man. Playoffs and everything. Why not? Or just do something like that. And leave the other sports alone. Let softball, baseball, volleyball, basketball, let all these teams, let the Pac-12 still exist. Let them play each other. Let the ACC play their teams. Let the Big 12. Leave football alone. Football is once a week, man. It's once a week. Once a week. That's it. That's one flight. What about, Teran? I mean, volleyball, brother, you're playing multiple games a week. Softball, you're playing multiple games a week. Baseball, you're playing multiple games a week. How stupid is it that Stanford's in the freaking ACC? This whole time, Teran, I thought Stanford was on the West Coast. I must be crazy, Teran. I think I'm insane. I have to be insane because I always thought that Stanford was on the West Coast. Apparently, it's in North Carolina somewhere. It's insane. But apparently it's on the East Coast, and it blows my mind, but it just really troubles me. How in the hell, I don't know, man. I played in the NCAA. I loved playing in the NCAA, but Teran, I freaking hate the NCAA, man. Like, it really, like, we have here in the chat room, J-Man putting, NCAA equals money over everything. You're absolutely right, man. It's a business. Need cash above all. Like that. I'm loving these acronyms. These are great acronyms. But yeah, man, I mean, Teran, it's disheartening, man. We watched the Pac-12 go away. I wanted Washington to win simply as a final FU to the NCAA, being like, that's right, a Pac-12 team just won, and that's the conference that went under. So, I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, granted, it's not the NCAA, like, all their fault. It's that idiot, the president of the Pac-12, really, it's his fault, and dumb choices. But Teran, I'm just very irritated, man. I mean, we're getting some funny comments in the chat room, by the way. Mike Pat says here, FSU is killing the transfer portal, although a bit too much as they got penalized. Yeah, see, the transfer portal, like, come on, man. Like, I don't know. That thing is kind of annoying too. J-Man, 1 second away, should have been the Horns. He's still going on about the Horns. The two semifinal games were really good. Thank you very much, Mike Pat. They were, but then the championship game sucked, in my opinion. J-Man, Penix was not hurt his happy feet. He only got sacked twice. He was Houdini. Keeps moving. Moves kept him from getting sacked, at least. Well, Penix has moves for sure, man. But yeah, continuing on what we were saying, though, Mike Pat says here, can't wait for FSU's softball team to travel cross country to face off against Cal. So, Teran, I mean, dude, I don't know. I mean, this is, we've been down this road a million times on this show. I'll end off with this comment here from Adam Karnick. He says here, and not to veer too far off topic with this, but you just, quote-unquote, know that the way these schools will handle all the extra travel costs will be to jack up the tuition rates even higher. Teran, I mean, he hit it on the head, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And Mike Pat wins the chat room. He's saying NCAA equals need cash above all. That is the most clever acronym ever. So, and yeah, Adam does make a good point. Like, travel costs are going to be a killer for some of these teams that have to go all the way from one side of the country to the other. So I think it's something to watch for. And yeah, I would honestly want to keep all the Pac-12 in all other sports. But everyone's going to basically say it doesn't make sense and whatnot, just because if one sport have it, other sports should have it. So it just feels weird seeing some of these teams in the Pac-12, no Pac-12, but teams in the Big Ten, and then teams in the Big 12, and then teams in the ACC. And now it's going to be a Power 4 conference.
It breaks my heart for Oregon State, because they've been a very strong program. They won a freaking baseball national championship not too long ago. They have a very competitive football team. They have decent basketball teams. I mean, is this going to become a second-rate program now? Is it going to become and I don't want to call these teams second-rate, but like the Mountain West teams, are they going to become like they're good, but they're just kind of, like San Diego State, Fresno State. They're still very good teams, but you ain't going to see San Diego State, Fresno State, UNLV, Boise every now and then, but you're not going to see these teams freaking facing off against, freaking Alabama. You know what I mean? You're not going to see this, so Oregon State, I mean, not saying they could have faced Alabama anyway, but my gosh, if they ever could do it, it was in this era, and now where they're going, what things aren't going to happen so much for them no more, and they're just going to kind of go down a level, it's frustrating, man. It really is. And Teran, or Mike Pat says here in the chat, he says, Ralph Khalees, responding, that's the truth, Adam. Mike Pat responds, hopefully some of the less lucrative sports figure out a way around this foolishness. And I agree. We don't need all this, man. Like, are you serious? Like, it's ridiculous. Mike Pett also says, it just irks me that they could have solved this problem years ago when the playoff first happened. But nobody stepped up to do anything, and now we have this mess. And it's the truth, man. I mean, it's just, this is a different era, man. It's a different era. You know, you got the NIL now, which, you know, of course, I do believe that players should be making money off of their name, image, and likeness. But, Teran, you got the NIL now go running crazy. You got crazy dudes like Caleb Williams talking about, I want to own part of the team wherever I get drafted. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Come on, bro. You know, you got that happening. You got this transfer portal. Dudes are going freaking 10 schools in 4 years. I mean, I ain't getting PT. I ain't trying to work for it. I'm gonna, the coach don't like me or whatever. Bro, you committed there for a reason. You know, okay, well, I'm going to transfer. Okay, I get it. This happens. Okay, but now I'm going to transfer. And play here. Oh, I ain't getting PT here. I'm going to transfer here and play here now. Oh, I ain't getting PT here. I'm going to go here. I mean, come on. Teran, what happened to
It's like the Dennis Rodman thing, where it's like, boom, click, go this way. Boom, here to here. Click and go that way. Boom, here to here. Click and go this way.
Teran, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I played in this beast. You know what, man? I committed. I balled. You know what I mean? I wasn't always a starter when I played at RCC. I wasn't always a starter at ULV. I mean, you know what I mean? I fought my ass off to start. You know what I mean? I fought my ass off to play. No, I'm not better than anybody here. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is Teran, you fight for things, man. You know what I mean? You fight and you fight hard. It's the truth. I don't understand. So we got the transfer portal now, giving more entitlement to these dudes. And like I'm telling you, look what it turns into. You got crazy people now talking about, I'm trying to get some ownership of the team. Teran, what the hell? Like, do you have the audacity to ask that? Are you serious? Like, are you for real? Like, is this real life? I mean, you know, you got NFL players that are 10 years in that aren't even trying to buy or have part of the team or whatever. I mean, I don't know, man. As you all know, I'm not the biggest Caleb Williams fan, but yeah. Bernie Bengal in the chat room says Portal Combat. Oh, this is great. Oh, this is good. Somebody should make that. Somebody should, like, on YouTube, like you know, or like TikTok or something, you know, Portal Combat.
Portality.
I'm sorry. It's just very funny to me that, you know, everyone's complaining about, entitledness, and these kids nowadays are entitled, and oh my gosh, and you know, bro, you guys are making it like that for them. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't doing nothing to stop it. Like, you know, over here, the transfer portal. Okay, cool. There ain't no limit on that. Cool. Alabama, look at Nick Saban, man. And of course, we just saw, you know, Nick Saban retired this year. Congratulations on a great career, coach. Nick Saban calling it a career. But Teran, it's crazy, man. We talked about guys like Nick Saban who told everybody, because so you know, the transfer portal was going to ruin college football. But then he was like, "But hell, if you know, if no one's going to stop it, then I'm going to use it." And he used it to his advantage. Screw it. I mean, why not? Why not? You know, I mean, why not? If a new weapon drops into the arena, why not use it? You know what I mean, Teran? I mean, shoot. But It's ridiculous, you know. So here we are now in this crazy day and age where Adam Karnick, we've seen him in the iSports Radio chat so many times say this one thing. How far are we away from just basically NFL Junior with these schools? You know what I mean? Like, this is seriously becoming like Teran, I'm sure you noticed. I mean, or you know, like the AAU teams, like the travel ball teams, Teran, these teams are like outdoing high schools now. High school sports, I feel like, are second rate now because you want to play where the scouts are looking, right? So these kids play in AAU teams. Screw high school because their goal is the league. And don't get me wrong, the league is the league, and I get that, and that's the goal. But bro, where's your education at? I mean, Teran, do you see where we're going?
Yep. And to touch upon what you were talking about in terms of like NIL and the transfer portal, I think college football is coming to a new age. Unfortunately, this isn't your grandpa's NCAA football or college football in general. I think with the new age of like the millennials and all these decisions, and with the COVID years, which soon will be coming to an end, you have to take that into consideration as well. And you mentioned that Alabama had Nick Saban retired from Alabama, but they actually got their new head coach in Kalen DeBoer, the Washington head coach. So now DeBoer is at Alabama, and Washington is basically searching for a new head coach. So basically, college football is going to look a whole lot different going into the near future. And I feel we're now entering a new era.
No, we really are, Teran. And yeah, that's right. DeBoer heading on over now to Alabama. So, dude, I don't know. This is so crazy. This whole thing is so crazy. But next year, 12-team playoff, cool. Let's see what happens. Let's see where college football goes. Now we have here the UFL starting up, and you heard me go on about that for like at least 20, well, it was like 15 minutes the other day, on the defining moment. But Teran, what the hell, man? You make a league and now you chop out all these teams. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, I get it. The league wants to survive and everything, but they thrive by themselves. But you got all these little feeder leagues and everything. Dude, before you know it, like these guys were, you at least go to school and get your degree, okay? Because the degree is very useful, Teran. You got a few of them, I got a few of them. They're very useful, okay? Not saying that you can't do great things in life without them, But what I am saying is that why are we devaluing that? Like, I don't know. A lot of players, man, need to know, like, bro, you need to, if football doesn't work for you. Because it's not everyone's going to make it to the league. It's a small percentage, and the percentage is even smaller of the guys who get there and can even stay there, and let's not even get into the elite, man. The elite, if you were to pull up the whole USA on the map, you can get a needle point and poke it somewhere in the Midwest, and that right there is the percentage. That's how big the percentage is of the elite in the NFL on that big old map. You know what I mean? So come on, man. It's ridiculous. It really is. But anyway, before I go off too much on that, Teran. So Adam says here in the chat room, says Mike says, I just saw somewhere someone is on his fourth school and 7th year. Teran, what the hell? Seriously?
Yeah, I've seen 7th year seniors and 6th year seniors. I just feel that they're just taking advantage of all of the COVID years and the red shirt years, and basically just staying at one school, because I bet you they think that the NFL is not for them, just because sometimes teams don't draft you and maybe injury history is a thing. So I think those student athletes just want to like stay at the school for as long as they possibly can, and basically just live their life and be happy in regards to being at said school.
No, you're totally right, Teran. So we'll finish off in the chat room here, but Adam says here that to be devil's advocate for just a moment, coaches quote unquote decommit. Oh yeah, to their teams and schools all the time. Look at DeBoer, what we just did to Washington. True, left for absolutely, man, literally the same job at a different school. Crazy, right? Player movement needs to be regulated, but coach movement should also face some regulations and rules too. And no, it's totally true, man. Once again, I get it. I'm a proud capitalist here, and we're Americans. I am proud. I love it. Make money, be successful, do great things. That's awesome. But man, I mean, that dollar, man, it speaks so loud, and everybody's running towards it somehow, some way. And I get it, get paid for your skills, go here, go where the money's at. But it's true, man. I mean, I get it. Okay, you want championships, you want titles. DeBoer, you were just at a school that was in a national championship, man. If you're so confident, you could have just done it there. You know what I mean? Like, you really had to run over to Alabama because, they threw millions of dollars at you, I'm sure. Like, more. I mean, I don't know, dude. It's crazy. It's really crazy where we are right now. But so, Teran, leaving it off with this, we do have some college all-star games coming up here. And speaking of that dollar, I mean, we got a lot of them. We got some games coming on up here. And I know we just had the Hula Bowl, right, Teran? Just took place, I think.
Yes.
Thursday.
It did.
So, and then it wasn't even big hype about it. I mean, if you didn't know it wasn't going to be played, you didn't know. I mean, that's all there is to it. So that's a thing.
It was on a Thursday.
It was on a Thursday, of course. We know
Food for thought right there.
Crazy, right? And Teran, then of course we got coming on up here, or it's at noon today. Sorry, that's the Hula Bowl. Then there's another All-Star game. There's another All-Star game that, if I'm pretty sure it was a Thursday. It's weird because I know the Hula Bowl it's weird. Yeah, it's today at noon. But
it is on today. I think they just maybe made the website of that day and updated it.
The NFLPA Bowl, I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. Like, you can't even see some of these games. It's crazy. We have, of course, the big ones, the Shrine Bowl coming on up, and the Senior Bowl, which is the one that we really cover, Teran, where we, cover the week of practice and talk about the game and then afterwards and everything. But it's just crazy, man, because, I mean, I love these games, love them to death. These need to be bigger. I feel, honestly, these should be bigger. You want the exposure, you want all that. I really feel like these games should be much, much, much bigger, and there's some bowl games that are advertised better than some of these games, like the Hula Bowl. Because, for instance, like Gen B says here, Wayne Ruby from Mount Union is in that game. Teran, this is a cool game because this gives the guys from smaller schools a chance to play with these bigger dudes, you know what I mean? To play with these bigger teams. And it's cool. You get all these different athletes from all these different levels playing in this game. It's not like the Senior Bowl where you may see an FCS hat in there somewhere. I think we saw a D2 in there one time. That was crazy. But yeah, Teran, I mean, you're gonna, but we need more of that, okay? And it's crazy to think because it's, these need to be bigger, more. We need more of this. They said the NFLPA Bowl, I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. And then, of course, we have the Shrine Bowl, East West Shrine Bowl, that's in a few weeks, and then the Senior Bowl coming up on the 3rd, February 3rd. But yeah, man, so kind of crazy. It's just something. But yeah, Bernie Bengal wants to add to this real quick. He says, Alex Bowman, quarterback, 7th year of eligibility approved, redshirt, COVID, and injury year granted. That's freaking nuts. That's nuts, man. I mean, oh, man, where we are, it's insane. But anyway, Teran, well, can you believe it, man? Can you believe it? The season's over. It's done. No more college ball.
Yeah, no more college football for, what are we? We're in mid-January. Then it starts up in August, so it's 7 months without college football, 7 or 8 months without college football. So better. And also, what I want to know is there going to be NCAA football 2024 or whatever that it's going to be called? That is the big question, because someone on X was teasing about how there's going to be NCAA football 2024, because I think it's the 10-year anniversary since the previous NCAA football game came out, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and it'd be cool if it were to, because I'm going to get it if it does, but I don't know, Teran. Hopefully we see it come out soon. I mean, NIL, right? NIL all day. And this is hilarious. Adam Carnick says, I can never watch the Shrine Bowl without thinking of Key and Bill. Hingle McCringleberry.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. But
or Donkey Teeth.
Donkey Teeth. He said, the artist formerly known as Mouse Cop. I'm sorry. I love those. I'm going to walk some fudge. I'm gonna watch that probably in a little bit. But
yes,
Teran, it has been a great season, man. Let's get a quick recap of all these champions, man. Starting from the very beginning, back on December 2nd, man. Let's talk, of course, the Chaparrals. Congratulations to DePage this year, defeating Rochester 33-29. They will earn, of course, that's a third back-to-back championship in the NJCAA D3 ranks. Then, of course, following them right after, the next Saturday, were my beloved Riverside Tigers, man. Of course, RCC got it done, man. Riverside, oh, guess what a beautiful day it was. What a wonderful championship. But yes, Teran, we got it done. I'm very proud of my RCC Tigers, man, getting it done. Another beautiful, beautiful title. And that was the following Saturday, where RCC would defeat San Mateo 24-21, earning their their third national championship in program history, and their second in the last 5 years. So really cool there in the 3C2A. Then, of course, Teran, right after that, congratulations to the Iowa Western Reavers. That was really cool seeing them defeat East Mississippi 61-14, total blowout, back-to-back blowouts. They won last year, same exact thing. I mean, not that much, but the Reavers, of course, winning their third national championship and their second back-to-back. So congratulations to those guys. Moving on over to Division 3 in the Stag Bowl. Teran, just what a amazing season this was, man. Sunny Cortland, man, out of New York. They defeated North Central 38-37 in a very, very good football game, man. The Stag Bowl 50, if you will. And they win their first ever national championship in program history. Division 2, Teran, we've seen the Bisons run wild all over Colorado State, man. Congratulations to Harding. They would defeat, of course, they defeated Colorado School of Mines 38-7. And it was awesome. And it was a great game, so congratulations to them. That was their first national championship ever in school history. And then, of course, after that was Division 2. The NAIA was special because Kaiser finally did it, Teran. They repeated from last year, the same exact game. They just flipped the champions this year. Northwestern College defeated Kaiser last year, while this year Northwestern, the Seahawks of Kaiser would defeat Northwestern 31-21, earning their first championship in program history. Moving through the NAIA. And there it is, Teran. We had bowl games galore. So many teams doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that. And it has been a very, very, very fun season, man. I mean, without a doubt, it's been a fun season. Then, of course, we get to the FCS. Congratulations again to the South Dakota State Jacks. Those Jackrabbits, man, earning its second championship ever in school history. Then, of course, second back-to-back. And then, yes, Michigan wrapped it up yet again, man. Or not yet again, but they wrapped it up. First time since 1997. Great victory for those guys we talked about today, and that will do it. Teran, can you believe it, man? The season is freaking over.
It feels like it just started. The season went by way too quick.
Yeah, this is nuts. Congratulations to all the champions this year. Like I said, we talked about all of them in depth. We had a very fun season, man, and it was just a good one. So thank you to everybody, man, who tuned in today. We had a full house. Bernie Bango, Jen B, Adam Karnick, it's Drewski, of course, Mike Pat, our boy Ralph Calise, J-Man was up in here, man. We had a lot of people in here today, so thank you all so very much. Teran, this is crazy, man. I can't believe this. We're not going to be live next Saturday. We're not going to be live until, we got a couple of weeks. But this right here is going to be a lot of fun moving forward. And this, I don't know. It's gonna be great watching Senior Bowl, doing Senior Bowl week as we do. So we should be back on the 27th and then finish off on probably the 3rd or the 4th, depending. But Teran, as always, brother, anything you want to throw in there at the very tail end of the show?
I do not, except a little trivia. There was one coach that beat both Nick Saban and Jim Harbaugh. Unfortunately, I kind of lost the link to where it was, to who beat those coaches. But, what can you do?
Well, there it is, y'all. Also, once again, big shout out to Bishop Gorman this year, the high school Max Preps national champions. So, congratulations to them. And Teran, we got a great season coming up, man. Like I said, we're going to finish it off. We got 2 more shows to go. And we will see you guys back on the 27th. And then, like I said, either going to be sometime on the 3rd or sometime on the 4th. Recapping the Senior Bowl and then closing the door all the way until August. So, that has done it. Check out planetjerky.net. Grab you some jerky. Follow us at 3 and Out, all spelled out CEIE. For my boy Teran Rodriguez, from your boy Larry B, we will see y'all in a few weeks. Until then, take care. And as always, God bless.
Peace.